in Latin, the magnum opus, the Chibur of the Alter Rebbe. And this Chibur is considered by Chassidim, the Rabbeim brings us down as a Torah Shebeksav of Chassidus. If we were to pick out one chapter, as it is the minhag to learn Chavdal Tevis, a Perek in Tanya, the one chapter that is the embodiment of Tanya, it is actually Perek Lamed Beis. As the Rabbeim said, it's called Perek Lamed Beis, which Lamed Beis is from the word Lev. It's the heart. It's the heart of Tanya. It's the heart of Chassidus. And this is even more emphasized by the fact that in the original editions of Tanya, this was not Perek Lamed Beis. The Alter Rebbe consciously inserted this and made this Perek Lamed Beis to make this the heart of Tanya. Okay, a little bit background and context what the Alter Rebbe is referring to. In the earlier Prakim in Tanya, he was speaking about a person that needs to be able to overcome the limitations that his body places on him on serving the Eibishter. And to do so, it's necessary for him to be able to realize the fact that his nefesh habamis and his body is interfering with his closeness to Hashem, and he has to feel bad about that. And by feeling bad about those things, that helps the nefesh halakis become released from its bondage of the nefesh habamis and the guf. On the other hand, we know we have to serve the Eibishter out of simcha, out of joy. How is it possible when I have atzvus, when I am sad, when I am feeling low about my particular spiritual situation, how can I still rejoice in the Eibishter? So the Alter Rebbe says, it's not a problem. The sadness I feel is from the physical and from the nefesh habahamis, and the joy is from the nefesh. My nefesh halakis, with every mitzvah that I do, and every time I defeat the nefesh habahamis, and every time I overcome an isayin, is joyous to return to its Father in heaven, to reconnect with the Eibishter. So there's the joy of the soul that mitigates and overpowers the sadness of the body. Once we realize that we have two approaches, the soul approach and the bodily approach, based on this, the Alter Rebbe says we have the background to be able to understand the true idea of the mitzvah of Avos Yisrael. Let's learn it inside. Perek Lamed Beis. V'hinei aidei kiyum hadvarim hanal. Through fulfilling these matters. Liyos gufay nivza v'nimas be'enov. That his body should be something that's despised in his eyes, meaning the body is of no worth and no importance to him. Rak simchasi tiyeh simchas hanefesh levado. Rather, his joy will only be the joy only of the soul. This is a straight and easy way to arrive at fulfilling the mitzvah of loving your friend as yourself, which is the most difficult part. To every single yid, from the greatest to the most minor. Obviously, what he's talking about, greatest to the most minor, is talking about in avodas Hashem. The nature of a person's love and attraction to someone is because they see a certain benefit, a certain quality that another person possesses. We're talking about somebody that's pursuing avodas Hashem, so obviously when we're talking about the greatness of another person, we're talking about the love for another person that's engendered because you see, they have a particular quality in avodas Hashem, they have something that I aspire to, that I respect, that I would like to emulate. And that brings out a love for that person. So seemingly, then the love of a Yid that serves Hashem would be limited to great people, to people that he perceives as being greater than the person that's trying to have of a love of Hashem, greater than himself. But someone that's cotton, someone that's lesser than me in the avodas Hashem, how can I find in my heart to be able to love him, and not just love him, but love him as I love myself? So the underlying principle what Alter Rebbe is going to say is this is all still a bodily approach, a limited approach where I'm looking for qualities in the other that because of that I am loving the other. When I realize that my love of the other is because in our souls we are one, So it's regardless of what qualities. The love is not driven by an ava hatluya by davar, by something that has qualities, but it's rather a love of the essence, regardless. Let's see it inside. Since his body is something that's despised by him. But when it comes to the person's nefesh and ruach, his soul, who knows their greatness and their quality in their root and their source in the living Hashem? Meaning, first of all, we are not mivinim anafashis. I can only see what goes on with someone else. I can only determine by a person's externals what I perceive them to be. What's going on deep inside of the person, I have no idea. For sure, I do not know what spiritual level they are at. I do not know what their spiritual source is. So that he right away says, one person could never know and determine, I'm a gadol, he's a cotton, what am I going to love that person for? Who says you're the gadol and he's a cotton? Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're the cotton and he's the gadol. There is no way of determining it. The Rebbe's father actually adds to these words, it's a certain level that's unknowable. It's not just, do you know? It's miyadeh means it's an unknowable level. The shayrish of neshama is above, and how one was higher than the other is from a level that's beyond knowledge. So therefore, that whole determining factor that we said before about gadol and cotton, greater and smaller, doesn't apply. But even more than that, even more so, they all match up. They are all equal in as far as the nefesh, v'av echad l'kolana, and there is one Father to all of us. Meaning, this idea that we're saying that who knows whose mila is greater, who knows whose quality is greater than the other, that's still a lower level in the neshama. That's a level the way they are rooted in Elikim Chayim, in a place where there is ischalkos and divisions, the way the neshamas already come out as separate entities, with each one with its own unique quality. The true love that a yid has for another yid is like he's soon going to give the example of brothers. Brothers do not love each other because that I have a certain mila, he has a certain mila, he may have a mila better than me. No. We love each other because we are the same, we come from the same source, and over there in that source we are all one. So even now we love each other regardless of what particular qualities or lack of thereof. That's why all Yidden, every single Yid are called mamish brothers. The Alter Rebbe adds the words mamish because the word achim could mean sometimes in a more figurative sense. Yes, we're brothers, we're family, but he says no, it's mamish, literally brothers, because mitzad the nefesh of every single yid that we have right away at the beginning of Tanya, that every yid comes from Hashem's chachma, just like a child comes from Moach Ha'av. So every nefesh of every yid comes kaviyachol from Hashem himself. So therefore, we love each other like brothers. Even the brothers don't just love each other before they were born. The brothers love each other even while the array came into separate bodies. The same thing, a yid could say to himself, fine, in my shirish above, I love him. Because my shirish above, we're all connected. But Lapoil down here, when my neshama came down into the body, I'm a separate entity, I'm a separate body. Why and how can you demand of me to love another? So he says, we're achim mamish. Just like brothers, that their love is not just in some shirish above, but their love manifests itself even after they were born. They came into separate bodies, separate interests, separate qualities, separate advantages, and still all they love each other because of that source reflects and manifests itself in their life as being a physical body. The same thing, even looking at the nefesh of a yid, we're not just looking at the nefesh of a yid the way it's above. The nefesh of the yid, the way it comes down here in the body, can love another yid like himself because the nefashas are all one in their source. Because the root of the nefesh in the one Eibishter, that just like the Eibishter is one, so all the yidden that are part of the Eibishter are also one over there. Raksha gufim mecholakim, only the bodies are separate. So the question is, what am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on the body, which we already said? This person doesn't give import to the body. The body is something that he despises. Or are we going to focus on the nefesh? And the nefesh, we're all connected, we're all one. Those that make their bodies the main part of their being, and their nefesh, their soul, is something only secondary. There cannot be true love and brotherhood between them. Only that which is dependent on something alone. Meaning, like we have in Pirkei Avos, it says that there's the ava that's tluya b'davar, a love that's dependent upon something, and that love is totally commensurate with the thing that you love. If you love a person because of their intellect, because of their kindness, because of whatever other thing that you love them, so it's to the degree that they have it, that's how much you love. And therefore, there's a certain value system. Some people have more, some people have less of a certain thing that you respect. Some people respect one particular thing, others respect a different particular thing. So the love cannot be a love like yourself. Because why do I love myself? I don't love myself because of a particular quality that I have. I don't love myself because I am smart, or because I am kind, or because I have some other quality. It might be the other way around. I might think that I'm smart and kind because I love myself, but that's a whole different discussion. I love myself because I'm me. And in that love, there's no end, there's no limitation, there is nothing to hold that love back. If I love another Yid because of their maila, because of their quality, because of something that they're bringing to the table that I admire, so it can never be as much as myself. But if I love them because they are part of me, so just like I love myself, I could love them. And this is what Hillel HaZaken said, Al-Kiyam mitzvah concerning the fulfillment of this mitzvah, Zel Kol HaTorah Kula, the very famous story with the Geir that came to be misguided by Hillel, and he wanted to learn the whole Torah on one foot. So Hillel told him that to love the Avos Yisrael is Kol HaTorah Kula, and the rest, V'idach Pirushu, and the rest of the Torah is only a Pirush, a commentary on Avos Yisrael. And all the Mefarshim, everybody speaks about it. How can you say that the whole Torah is a commentary on Avos Yisrael? Mele to say Avos Yisrael is the nikud of all mitzvahs ben adam l'chaveri that I can understand. But how tefillin, tzitzis, mezuzah, Shabbos, kosher, what does that have to do with Avos Yisrael? So based on what we just now established, what is the main thing in my life? Is the main thing in my life the nefesh or is the guf? And that determines if I can have Avos Yisrael. So that is mamish what Torah is about. Ki yisoid v'shoyrish kol ha'Torah hu lagbiya v'lahalos ha'nefesh ala guf maila dikra v'sharsha. The whole foundation and the root of the Torah is to raise up and to elevate the nefesh over the body, higher and higher till its source and its root, the chol almin of all the worlds. Like we said before, if you go all the way to the source of all the nefashis, and you look how they're all one in Av Echad L'Kolana, how they're all one as part of Hashem Echad, so there is no reason to differentiate, and no way I'm going to say, well, I've got something that he doesn't have, or he has something that the other one doesn't have. There is no differentiation. And that is what every mitzvah is about. Every mitzvah is about focusing on the ruchnis and on the nefesh and on Elokus rather than the physical. So Avos Yisrael and Tefillin and Mezuzah and Shabbos and Kashrus are all the same thing. And not only that, Avos Yisrael is the core that expresses, did you do Tefillin the way it's supposed to be? Did you keep kosher the way it's supposed to be? What was it about? Being Milo the Nefesh over the Guf. Let's see it in Avos Yisrael. That is the Even HaBoichen. That is the litmus test. Are you into Tefillin? Love another Yid. You can't love another Yid? Something's missing with the Tefillin. Then another thing. Another aspect that he brings out. Why we say that Avos Yisrael is Kol HaTorah Kula. Another reason why it's called Torah Kulam, because the main thing of the whole Torah is Lahamshich Oren Saf Baruch Hu B'Knesset Yisrael, to draw down the infinite light of the Eibishter in the Shoyrish of Neshamas Yisrael above, and through that in the Neshamas down here, known as Knesset Yisrael. Like will be explained later on in Perek Mem Aleph. The Hainu b'Makir Neshamas Kol Yisrael, the level of Knesset Yisrael is the source of all Neshamas Yisrael, the level of Malchus Datzilus. Lemeve echad be'echad dafke. The only way how you could have that there should be the unity of the Eibishter and Neshamas Yisrael is, the Neshamas Yisrael have to reflect and copy an aspect of the Eibishter, a very core aspect. The Eibishter is Hashem Echad. When Yidden are Echad, then they can have it as well. That's what he's saying over here. Lemeve Echad be'Echad dafke. V'loi kisheyesh pirut chas v'shalom b'neshamas. If chas v'shalom there's a separation amongst Yidden, it's missing the Echad amongst the Neshamas Yisrael. The Kutchabrichu lo shari b'asar b'gim. The Eibishter does not reside in a place, a vessel, or a place that's damaged or incomplete. Yidden are one kaima shleima, the Arizal says. Yidden, the entire, all the Neshamas Yisrael are one huge entity, one big Neshama. And for the Oyer and Sof to come down to that big Neshama, it has to be Shalom. The Tzemach Tzedek brings down there Nesecha. This is the inyan that's brought down that Karbonis and Koyanim have to be Tamim. Tamim Tia L'Ratzin. Only if you bring a whole carbon, only if you bring a whole Koyan can serve. Because the Eibishter is connected with Shleimus. The Eibishter is Shleimus, and everything that he connects with has to be in the way of Shleimus. Ultimately, the most important Shleimus that we need to bring to the Eibishter is Shleimus within ourselves. What's Shleimus within ourselves? When the whole Klal Yisrael is Ba'achtas. Then, when the whole Klal Yisrael is Ba'achtas, we can be Lamev Echad Be'echad with the Achtas of the Eibishter. Like it says in the Pasuk, it says, benches our Father together as one with the light of your face. What does that mean? It means that only when it's kolanu ke'echad, only when all of us are as one, when we have the achdus, the echad down here, then we are a receptacle, we are a keli for the Eibishter's brachas from above. So, if so, the Alter Rebbe is now going to say, but we do find that there are certain situations where the Gemara says a person has to hate. So first of all, a side thing, hate is not a stira to love. We're going to have that soon. You could hate and love also. We'll have that in a few minutes. But first of all, he says, what says in the Gemara, someone that sees his chaver that did something wrong. It's a mitzvah to hate him. He also has to tell his Rebbe that he should hate him. This is talking about someone that's his peer, his same level like him in the fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs. And not only that, it's not just enough then, my chaver did something wrong, I'm going to hate him. No. He already fulfilled by him the mitzvah of rebuking him and bring it to his attention. And what does Amisacha mean? The Chazal darshan, the word Amisacha, play on words, you can break it up. Im she'itcha, the one that is with you. What's it mean with you? B'toyra v'mitzvahs. So if you rebuked a person that was together with you b'toyra mitzvahs, v'afal pikein l'shav mechatay, and still in all he didn't do tshuva, and obviously we're talking about he didn't hate him yet. So how do you rebuke him? He didn't just give him over the head, but he was mekad of him. He told him to improve in a loving way, and he showed him love. And like we're soon going to speak about, and still in all the person didn't do tshuva, so then he's allowed to hate him. Someone that's not his friend, he's not close to him. Concerning this, Hillel Zaken said, Heaven, Talmid of Shalom, be of the students of Aaron. Oyev Shalom v'chulu, love peace. Oyev esabriyas u'mekarvan l'Torah. Love all the creatures, and bring them close to Torah. What does that mean? That means that through love is the instrument and the means what you're going to bring them close to Torah. L'chora, if you say it, you need to hate someone that does something wrong, what is Hill saying? They're not close to Torah. You're not supposed to love them. You're supposed to hate them. So we see from this that it's not that way. That only ones that you're allowed to hate are those people that are im shevitcha b'Torah mitzvahs. But if they're brias, loymar, to say, even those that are distant from Torah and avodah, that's why they're only called a creature. But that itself, that's their whole milah. Their whole milah is, they were created by the Eibishter. Still in all, he still has to pull them close with thick cords and ropes of love. The expression chavle avoises is a lot of times used like the thick ropes that they tie a ship to the port. Obviously, it's a very, very strong thing. It's not just lip service, but you really need to invest the love for that person to be able to bring him close. Perhaps with all of this investment of love, you'll be able to bring him closer to Torah and Avodas Hashem. But not on this is dependent the mitzvah of Avos Yisrael. You're only loving him to be able to be Mekaravim. That's not what it means. The mitzvah of Avos Yisrael is there regardless. If he was not successful and he wasn't able to be Mekaravim, he still didn't lose the mitzvah of Avos Yisrael. Even those even the case that we spoke about before, the people that are close to him, the people that are his peers, that we said that there's a mitzvah to hate him, mitzvah l'snoisam, still in all mitzvah la'avam gamkin, he still has to love them. There's a very interesting story in the Rambam, just bekitzer. The Rambam says in Hilchos Deis that a person, you have to love every single yid. Doesn't make any exceptions. In a different place, in Hilchos Ritzeach, the Rambam says that you have a chiyuv to hate someone that does something wrong until he does tshuva. Here he says you have to love every yid without exception. Here he says you have to hate certain yid until they do tshuva. What's pshat? Because loving the yid and hating yid is not a stir. You can love him and hate him simultaneously, we're going to say right now. So even though there is a mitzvah to hate him, mitzvah la'avim gamkein, it's also a mitzvah to love him. V'shtei and heinames. They're both true. By the way, this is very important. Chassidus is very much about truth. It's not lip service. These are true feelings. And seemingly it's a stira. Can I love and hate simultaneously? So he says, sinna mitzada rasha behem. The sinna, the hate, is because of the bad that's in them, because of what they do bad. V'ava mitzad b'chinas hatoiv ha'gonas shebehem. And the love is for the hidden good that's within them. Shu nitzal kush shebesoichem. The godly spark that's within them. Ha'machayim nafshem alakis, that gives life to the nefesh alakis. If we think about it, a parent and a child. A parent can have a child that really can do terrible things, the worst things. And they may hate the bad that's in their child, but they'll always love that part of them that's a child. That's not a stira. The person is capable of having both emotions simultaneously, and not only that, but the parent will daven for that child. Will say, "Till him, please help him." Will have rachmanas on him. He also additional to the love and hate that the person has for this unusual situation, where the person is a chaver b'toyre mitzvahs and doesn't do tshuva. He's also going to be ma'oder rachmim in his heart upon the person or the nitzalkus in the person, because it's an exile within the bad that overcomes the nefesh or the nitzut in the rishoyim. And we know a klal varachmanis mevateles hasino mereres ha'ava. The nature of compassion is even where you have a feeling of hate and so on, still in all, it's going to negate and cause the hate to become swallowed up in the love. Like it's known from what it says concerning Yankov that redeemed Avram. Yankov is the midah of Rachmanas, Avram is the midah of Ava. Where is a case where Ava needs to be redeemed? When there's a case where there's a place for sin and hate as well. Comes the Rachmanas that Yankov embodies and helps redeem the love of Avram that might have gotten lost. David HaMelech that said, I hated them, an ultimate hate, which means there's no love whatsoever over there. Only on those that are completely denying the Eibishter, that have no portion in the God of Yisrael. Over there, that's an exceptional situation. It's not shaykh now. I just want to be meisiv two very short things. Very, very short. A story with Rav Hendel was the first mashpia on Lubavitch and Tebchtim was established. Someone came over to him and asked him, how am I going to, I don't feel a love for another Yid. So he said, how do I bring that out? So he said, by nature, a goy hates a Yid. By nature, a Yid loves a Yid. Trai barois, the goy was in a wenig, und sei megala, the Yid was in a wenig, was the libab ma Yid. Chase away the goy that's within you, and then you'll be able to love a Yid. The Yid that's within you will come out and love another Yid. One more point. He seems to be speaking about very high levels over here. It's brought down that it can work the other way around. It can work also the way where first I do all these things in Avos Yisrael, and then I come to reach a stage where the nefesh is oila over the guf, and we reach all the miles of Torah mitzvahs like he was talking about. That's right.
When he left his car outside and he left the clock.